Okay, next item, superintendent's report.
Yes, I put that on there because I was under the, coming on the board, I thought we would be getting a superintendent's report because in years past, the superintendent produced a report, and having been here now a couple of months and I haven't seen it on the agenda, first I wanted to ask, is there a process that we have to get a report? And then if not, I'd like to discuss that process. So I guess the first thing is there a process?
If I could, I was on the board when changes were made to that. You know, the superintendent did in fact, in my time on the board, submit a written report. And it was decided at that time, at a time, I'm not sure when, that because of the interaction we have with the superintendent and the fact that he brings up items at the meeting, he's always at the meetings. Sometimes there are administrative reports that are submitted where people are not here to answer questions. The superintendent is always here at our meetings. And, you know, items that come up, he brings them up, we discuss them, and they're on the record. So there was a decision made that, you know what, don't bother putting it in the report. And that's how I remember it. If you don't mind, I might ask for a little clarification if you could add it to that.
The other thing that came up was the majority of what I do is confidential. So a great deal of what I'm doing, I'm not going to put in the report. For instance, I was at my desk this morning at 7 o'clock. Everything I did today is one of those things. It's personnel issues, it's kid issues. And I would suggest to you that I don't believe there are superintendents that inform the board as much as I do in between meetings. Everything. I would prefer not to wait until the end of the month to know those things. That's the history behind it. I'll do whatever the board wants me to do. I can certainly take a couple of hours to write a report. I'd like you to superintend. Whichever you want, I will do.
Yeah, I think it is a good idea because there's a lot of what would probably be maybe trivial items to the superintendent that are not going to really affect his, you know, managing the school. That as a school board member, I would like to be informed of so that in dealing with the public, we could be aware of status of different things that are going on and these types of things. I would use Bo for an example. Their superintendent not only makes a report, he emails it to everyone that signs up on the email list. And they're not, certainly not confidential issues, but they're, you know, we're getting a new video system and so forth. I'm not saying Phil hasn't shared those particular items with us, but I think it was also a good point because it was discussed in front of the public that showed up. It became a public document. People could look at it. They could see what's going on. I think the lack of information is never a good thing. So I would like to make a motion that we have the superintendent submit a monthly report on general items that are going on in the school district.
Discussion? Well, my discussion would be that just what I said. You know, I think we get more than enough information from the superintendent, and I think he said it best. He could take 2 hours to write that report, where he's going to be talking about it at the meeting anyways, or he could superintend during those 2 hours. And, you know, I think his time is better served. Not that everyone else's time is not better served, but again, other areas of administration are not always here, and they don't always have the opportunity to speak to those items. So those reports are you know, nice for us to read, and they're very informative for us to read. So I would be against adding any more to the superintendent's current list of duties.
Well, I would add that there are probably a lot of things that, for instance, a question that I've had, and it's not a huge question, but, we no longer are going to have a language arts curriculum coordinator. I am interested in what is the plan to compensate for that. Now, that's not a board policy decision, that's management decision, but I'm curious about that. Obviously, we were involved in the budget with that. And it, to me, doesn't warrant me bringing it up at a meeting. It's not that big of a deal. But some of the actions that we have taken, I'd like to see what ramifications they've had to Phil and to the management of the school. And like I said, they're not issues that I think need to be debated, but more curiosities. And I think it also is a good feedback for us because, we cut the budget. Well, what's happening? You know what I mean? How are things realigning because of that? Those are the things that I think if he had a few minutes to sit down and he could put them out, I don't want to put him on the spot right here, and, when he hasn't had time to think about it, but those are things that I think would be beneficial to us as ones that make those kinds of decisions to see what the ramifications of those decisions are, as well as other things that, things that are going on in the school district, so that we're more knowledgeable about what we're doing here. So that's all I have.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving the motion to require the superintendent to submit a monthly report, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. You want to roll?
I think we're okay.